Hi everyone, I'm Shane Stephenson, Curator and Director of Museum Collections here at the Buffalo Naval Park. And today I'm going to be highlighting just a few of some of the hundreds of uniforms that we have in our collection here at the Buffalo Naval Park. The area that we store just a small few of them, about 100 or 130 uniforms, is on the third deck of USS Little Rock. So we are 3 decks below the main deck in an area when USS Little Rock was in service was the storage area for the supply division. All right, so the supply division on any active vessel is the logistical heartbeat of the ship. All right, they take inventory, they distribute mail, they control the messing spaces and the overall logistics of a ship. All right, some current ratings today would be like a logistics specialist, culinary specialist, retail specialist, and like a personnel specialist. All right, say they disperse the paychecks, they disperse mail, they control the messing spaces, so the food for the officers and the enlisted crew. Right, and it's also pretty cold down here, so I don't know how long I'm going to be able to be down here. It's probably about 25 degrees in this space. So why don't we head over and take a look at some of our uniforms. Well, here we are in the compartment that stores about 100 or 130 different uniforms that we've received by donation over the past 41 years of our existence. Right, as curator and director of museum collections, my expertise is arranging, describing, preserving the artifacts that we have on board. Artifacts are arranged by 2D or two-dimensional, which is like paper and photographs, or 3D objects, which would be traditional artifacts that you think of that have 3 dimensions to them. All right, so that's my area of expertise, is making them available to you, either through videos on YouTube, or I'm looking also to establish a research library here at the Buffalo Naval Park that will allow visitors to come and do their own research for general information, or if someone's looking for more in-depth information or knowledge on a certain subject. So I more than welcome any comments if I'm making any mistakes on these uniforms, if I'm leaving something out. There's a lot of information with these uniforms, and as I said, I'm also learning. So please feel free if I butcher a uniform in any sort of way, or I'm not mentioning something, please feel free to leave a comment in our comment section. All right, let's check out the first uniform. First uniform is from West Point, and it's a parade uniform. All right, it has that cadet gray. It has the gold buttons. It has this wonderful piping on the sleeves. And there is a chevron on both shoulders. All right, so this is worn by cadets at West Point, and it's also known as a parade uniform. Sticking with the academic colleges, here's a midshipman's uniform. All right, it has the anchors on the collar, on the choke collar, the various gold buttons. And if I'm not mistaken, this graduate was first class. It has one diagonal stripe on the sleeve. And with the shield, that tells me that this individual was part of the Coast Guard. All right, so whenever you see a shield like this, that means they are an officer or enlisted in the Coast Guard. In a prior video, I did I spoke about the waves, which were women accepted into volunteer emergency service in the Navy. And the Coast Guard also had a similar program, which were called SPARS, or the United States Coast Guard Auxiliary. All right, so this is a uniform from a woman who was a SPAR in the U.S. Coast Guard. All right, we still have, we have her cap, and we have her name of Hadley. And she was a lieutenant. Again, here's that Coast Guard shield with 2 stripes that represent that she was a lieutenant in the SPARS. All right, speaking of waves, this is a waves uniform from the U.S. Navy. All right, you can tell by the emblem on the collar, and the waves emblem was a propeller along with an anchor. Unfortunately, I don't have any provenance on whose this uniform was, but we do know that she was a dispersing clerk. You'll see what literally is a personal check and a key, and the 1 chevron, which means she was a dispersal clerk, 3rd class. All right, to me, this uniform has quite significance, though it looks rather plain. It's my belief that this is a World War I naval uniform. All right, and we see that he has the shoulder piping that goes around, which indicates that he's a seaman. And on the cuff, it has 2 stripes. So I read this uniform as World War I uniform of a 2nd class seaman. Now, the reason why I say World War I is because on the left sleeve, there's actually a chevron. And this was used during World War I to indicate that there was at least 3 months to 1 year of service in a combat zone. All right, so this was the precursor to the service stripes that you see today, whether they're red or gold. And worn on the left sleeve, this indicates that this was a World War I or a World War I era vet that served in a combat zone for at least 1 year. If I was to look at the right sleeve, thankfully, there is no chevron, because rules dictated that if you were wounded in combat during World War I, you could put a chevron on your right sleeve. So thankfully, I didn't see one there on this uniform. For our next uniform, we're looking at a Army Air Corps, which is a precursor to the Air Force. So in World War II, the Army Air Corps, or the aviation wing, was underneath the Army banner. All right, so we'll see here on the right lapel, we have the U.S. Button. On the left lapel, we have an Engineering Corps button, which coincides with the 9th Engineers here of the Army Air Corps. All right, so the 9th Engineer Division. And on the right sleeve, we have the 8th Air Corps, all right, which was based out of England. So you'll see we have the 8 right there. Also on the sleeve, on the lower left of the sleeve, we do have service stripes. All right, now I may be a little confused at this, but again, each branch used different terms of service. If I'm not mistaken, the Army, each of these was 6 months. So this individual served 1 year, 2 years, 2.5. But then this diagonal stripe maybe a 3-year stripe. All right, so it changed as time went on, as many things do. And so what I'm thinking is this is the service stripes for 2.5 years, but also an additional 3 years. That's how I read that. So again, if you have any comments, please leave them down below the video, and I'd love to hear if you have more expertise on this than I do. All right, let's see what else we have. All right, here's a U.S. Marine Corps dress blue. All right, these are pretty unmistakable uniforms, and they even look pretty identical today. All right, if you see some bulging in the pockets, that's because we have the insignia and the ribbons in the pockets. All right, so this is Private First Class of the U.S. Marine Corps. She even has the belt. All right, so this is an unmistakable U.S. Marine Corps dress blues. What we're looking at here are the United States Merchant Marines. All right, we have a blue Cracker Jack and the white Cracker Jack. Now these are really unique emblems. So this was the United States Merchant Marine Service training patch. Right, so both of these uniforms and both of these Cracker Jacks have the patch on the left sleeve saying they're a trainee. And even on the back there they have the Merchant Marine emblem. So not only do we have the 5 major branches, or back in World War II, the 4 major branches, we also have a uniform or two from the United States Merchant Marine Service. So inside all these sea bags there are a lot of uniforms that have not been processed. Right, but we do have them on board, and over time I will be processing these and getting them into our uniform index. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any comments or if you want to make any corrections to what I've said in any of our uniforms that I talked about, please feel free to leave a comment. Make sure you like this video and please subscribe to our channel. And as always, please stay connected with the Buffalo Naval Park. Thank you very much.